Right, let's get this over with. I have to bang out as many videos as I can today. Oh god. Okay, hey everyone. So I think if you watched one of my previous videos, I talked about how I'm gonna make another video about applying internationally. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. There isn't a lot of resources out there, I think, that talk about international applications from the perspective of an actual international student, except for maybe like those video testimonials from university YouTube channels or websites or whatever. But I just thought maybe you want to hear it from someone who isn't affiliated with the university yet, though I'm going to be soon. I've already decided on a place. If you follow me on social media, you know exactly where I'm gonna go. So I just thought that I'd make a video about applying internationally and the qualifications you should take or you should consider taking if you're thinking about applying internationally. So when applying internationally, the biggest countries that most people I know aim for are like Australia, the US, the UK, Canada, like the really big English-speaking countries around the world. So when I talk about this, I'm talking about the perspective of Asian people. Oh. I'm talking about this from the perspective of Asian people. So a lot of the people I know who apply internationally happen to be Asian, happen to come from Malaysia, Singapore, stuff like that. And I think that's sort of like the stereotype for most international students is that we're Asian. I think for this video I'll be focusing on Australia and the UK because I applied to both these countries. I'm not going to really touch on America because I don't know much about it, so take whatever I say, again, take whatever I say or I'm going to say about American colleges and universities in any future video with a grain of salt, because I'm only basing what I know from things I've read and things I've heard and things I've seen. Personally, I believe we tend to over-sensationalize American colleges. I think that's just because of the media, and the media just portrays a lot of American stuff. So that's what we sort of see. That's sort of like one of the only depictions of like international university life many people get exposed to. I'm not saying they're bad, it's just that we get overexposed to American culture a lot of the times through the media we consume, and so we just tend to over-sensationalize them and over-exaggerate how good they are. Although American universities are really good, I'm not saying they're not, like Harvard and Yale and Princeton, all the Ivy Leagues, they're amazing universities, but they're just not for everyone, which is why I didn't apply to any of them. Although try not to rely on this too much, but if you look at any major international league table like QS or Times Higher, many UK and Australian universities and some European and Asian ones do stand in the top 50 alongside many amazing American colleges. So don't be so quick to disregard studying in Australia or the US or the UK. Okay, so I'm just going to get into the video now. I think many people, and this is specifically people I know from Malaysia that do this, a qualification you might want to consider taking is the foundation years or foundation program or whatever. So for those, it's typically for those who didn't achieve a really good high school score or high school results. It's also for anyone who hasn't done any pre-university high school qualification like the A-levels or the Australian Senior School Certificate or the IB diploma or etc. etc. Most Australian unis have them, though some British universities also do practice the foundation program system. Though the downside of doing a foundation degree or a foundation program is that it only guarantees you a place in that particular university, though there are some exceptions to that rule. Some universities allow you to transfer credit to other universities' bachelor programs. I know some British universities allow you to transfer into their bachelor program with foundation grades from the Australian G of 8 universities, or the Australian Group of 8 universities. If you don't know what that is, it's pretty much like the Australian version of the Ivy League. You can search it up. I think Bristol, I was looking at this, Bristol University allows students to enter one of their bachelor degree programs using your results from your foundation year at a G of 8 Australian university. But yeah, just look it up. I swear, there's so many motorcycles around here. Like, every single video released there's like a motorcycle in it. I don't know how. But yeah, if you just look up any university website and check out their foundation programs or foundation years and how to apply using foundation results and stuff like that, or whether that particular university accepts results from foundation programs from other universities and so on. The next qualification I'm going to talk about is a really popular qualification taken here in Malaysia and in Singapore and many parts of Asia, really, the international A-levels. So it's mainly for those applying to the UK, though Australian universities accept them as well. Although Cambridge Pre-U is a thing and it's also an alternative to international A-levels, though I don't know much about the Cambridge Pre-University program. You can search it up if you're interested in that, and also depends on what school you go to. Some schools offer the A-levels, the international A-levels. Some schools might offer the Pre-University program instead. Some schools offer IB instead, so it kind of depends what school you end up going to. EdXL, CIE are the main exam boards for international A-levels. And because of that, slightly more difficult than UK-based A-levels, based on what I've heard from friends and based on the rumours and the stigma surrounding taking EdXL and CIE as exam boards for your A-levels and your GCSEs, because they tend to be really... I know this from personal experience because I did CIE for GCSEs. Oh man, I think that's just because it's linear and not modular, so not a lot of people doing the UK-based A-levels are used to a linear system, so I guess that's why it's probably a little bit more difficult. So some countries do practice a similar A-level system. Like what I said before, Singapore has their own version of the A-levels, though I only suggest doing the A-levels assuming you have the option, if you know for sure what you want to study. Because you only study 3 to 4 subjects in depth, and most students take similar subjects to facilitate their skills in particular fields. So there's not a lot of room for breadth because you're only allowed to study like a small amount of subjects. Although there are some students who study like a broad range of subjects, say taking 2 A-levels in the maths and the science and then another 2 humanities A-levels. Though that's, not a lot of students tend to go that route. Most students just take subjects from the same subject area, the same field, just because you're studying like 3-4 subjects, so there's just not a lot of room for breadth. Okay, the next qualification I'm going to talk about, it's not really popular, and I don't know if they have this in countries outside of Southeast Asia. So Australian Matriculation. So the Australian Matriculation program, and it's mainly for those applying to Australia. British universities do accept Australian qualifications. So I'm not sure if this is offered elsewhere, but in Malaysia, a lot of schools offer the Australian Matriculation program. So basically what the Australian Matriculation is that you're studying an Australian high school's curriculum or qualification, except not in Australia, but in another country. So for example, the South Australian Matriculation is offered in some Malaysian schools and colleges. I think the New South Wales High School Certificate is offered in Singapore in some of their schools. So it's not a very popular choice, like what I said before, since only students applying to Australia typically take it. But it won't hurt to do your own research to see if your country offers a similar... Wow. But it won't hurt to do your own research to see if your country offers a similar program. But then again, it's just not that popular, and most people just do a different qualification because most Australian universities accept a lot of qualifications. Okay, so the next qualification is any national or school leaving or pre-university qualification. So basically any university around the world except any national high school qualification. Though that's just a general rule, some universities, I don't know, it really depends. It depends. So you just need to check with the university about what subjects or scores are required depending on what country you're from. So most universities would have an international qualifications page. So just open it up, look for your own country. And if there's no info about that, then just email the uni asking them what's up. Should I take a different qualification? You know, should I stick with this, or what score should I get? So do keep in mind some national curriculums fit better with entry requirements of unis in particular countries, i.e. It's easier to apply to the UK with a system that's similar to the A-levels compared to an Australian ATAR, and it's easier to apply to the US with like something that's similar to a GPA system or something that's similar to the SATs or ACTs. So again, it's just about how well your national curriculum fits in with the education system in that particular country, but that doesn't mean it's not doable. You can still apply, you can still try and apply. If there's no information about it, just email the university, ask them. Like, I'm currently doing an Australian high school certificate. What scores do I need? What subjects do I need to do for this course? Like, what do you want from me, you know? Should I take a different qualification? So on and so forth. And lastly, the last qualification I'm going to talk about, and I think at this point, all of you probably guessed what this is, but the IB diploma program, it is literally accepted everywhere. So the difficulty with applying with IB is of course converting score to national standards. And sometimes, and a lot of the times, the conversions can be way off. Like a AAA offer at A-level for British universities would be equivalent to like an IB score of 38 to 42 with HL 766, and that's just so way off, and they're asking for so much more from IB students, which is a topic for a different video, so I'm not going to get into it now. But yeah, the conversion can be way off and they tend to ask a lot from IB students, though the benefits do outweigh the cost sometimes. In Australia and in the US, doing IB does give you university or college credit, and you're not required to take certain courses or classes because of the credit you gain from doing like HL psychology or HL maths or HL chemistry. So you don't have to take like intro to chemistry or intro to psych or intro to maths or whatever it is, because you've already done that at school. So some countries do give you credit for doing the IB, some countries don't. So UK doesn't give you credit for doing the IB, but Australia and the US do. So you just again need to do your research. So that's about it for today's video. I think I'm gonna make another video soon about like how to pick a country. Or I'm busy. I'm filming. I'm filming. I'm filming. Okay, so I'm probably gonna make another video about applying internationally and what countries you should pick and how to pick a country or how to pick a university in a particular country if you're thinking about applying internationally. So I think that's about it, and I hope you guys like and subscribe because I have nothing else to do with my life.